Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to another Love Loud episode. The name of this show is Truth Carpet, where we tell the full truth. Sometimes we tell fibs.
Well,
It's like,
I never tell no fib. Not on the truth carpet. Not on the truth carpet.
I'm
Mm-mm.
just kidding. Welcome to this episode. I am Yaya, the one with her face is turning red because I turn red when I laugh and blush and everything. But I'm on this episode with my best friend.
It is I, Mo, to the knee, to the A. Yeah.
To the eye.
Ah.
How are you feeling, Monie?
Today I'm tired. It's been a long day, but here I am. Here I am, full glam, ready to go. Like hot damn. Okay.
Hot damn hole, here we go again.
Here we go again with another
Literally.
episode. Literally, here we go again because once again this episode downloaded with no sound, which I don't understand because the levels were popping as if there were sounds being recorded.
And once again, the content was good. I'm like, I can't laugh the same way that I laughed. I can't tell the same jokes. This is going to have to be authentic. But here we go again. Like I've been told, it happens to the best of them. So maybe that means we're the best. You know the Nicki Minaj song,
Hey.
I'm the best. We the best.
Look, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. This ain't for the week, y'all. This is not for the week.
That's for the weekend.
Oh my goodness. Yes. But here we are. I'm even though I'm tired, I'm in a good mood. I'm in good spirits. So, I'd rather be just tired because I had a long day opposed to tired because I'm stressed out or I'm down and out. So I'm not completely out of it. My day just starting earlier than I'm used to, and my body's still getting used to my new schedule and routine, but we got things to do, period.
I'm good that you're not feeling stressed or carrying burdens. I don't feel tired, but like I got a little headache. Not the one that I text you yesterday. This is like
the Google doctor queen. Like, and she ain't telling me like I'm a doctor. Like I'm gonna be able to figure out a diagnosis. Probably allergies. Are you feeling sinus pressure? Is it a migraine? Is it pounding? Like, why am I asking these questions?
I said I feel like stars in my head.
And I'm like, black spots? Like, are you seeing black spots? That's something else. I've heard of it before, but I'm like, she don't even know what she's talking about.
I said, yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird. That's one thing I hate about going to the doctor. Like when they ask you what's wrong, I can't really explain it. I just know what I feel. It don't feel normal. It feels abnormal.
They're like, ma'am, we need you to go home. There's nothing wrong with you.
They do. Wait to my $15 copay. Okay.
Hey, start giving me the $15 copay. I can diagnose. You need to lay down.
Lay down.
Drink some water. Did you drink some water today? Did you eat? Good. Yes, now lay down.
Yeah, I had more than 16 ounces today.
Wow.
I know.
Did you make it to 20?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I had 3 32-ounce bottles.
Oh, go ahead, water. Water girl.
Go. That's how I do.
I'm doing so. Aside from that, I'm doing pretty good. Feeling really excited. It's Virgo season.
Okay.
Shout out to primarily me, but to you too, because you got Virgo in your chart. So
I do.
Yes. Yeah. So shout out to me right now. I'm just feeling like I'm like organizing my life. I bought a new calendar from Target. It was on sale for like the medium sized wall calendar. It had it for $6. I didn't care about the colors or nothing. I was like, $6, I'm getting that.
Yes, okay? I need that. I need one for my desk, not on the wall. Just lay flat on my desk. When I look down, I'm like, yes, no, this is what I need. I need that ASAP.
Yeah, I like to see everything flat out. If I could have one with podcasting schedule, dates like with my friends and stuff, like things that I'm supposed to do outside of work and my work schedule all in one thing, that would be great because I literally was supposed to have an appointment for something else tomorrow. And then I was like, oh, sorry, can't do that. That's after work hours technically. So this comes first because I can't do that. Oops. So like
My
I'm
bad.
right,
Double booked.
right, triple booked. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is a priority right here. So it's good for me organization wise to have everything on one calendar. And then I was organizing my gym calendar. I got like this glass eraser, like you can use the expo marker kind of thing, calendars. That's specifically for my Pilates and Planet Fitness gym sessions that I was organizing. So even that like helps me because I feel like when I'm unorganized or my room is a mess, I feel like my brain is cluttered. So I'm really like cleaning house. Like I tweeted the other day, I'm literally on D&D all weekend. Do not disturb me. I'm in the bed in the house doing chores the whole weekend.
I
Okay.
literally just saw a post before we got on. It was basically saying like your space is your sanctuary. Take care of it as such, because if it's not taken care of, you're not taken care of, and it has a big effect on your mental health and how you're feeling. I'm like, I just need a bigger room. How do I make my room bigger?
Yeah.
I need bigger. I need a bigger room. I'm like, I be feeling claustrophobic sometimes that I got like stacks of like it's neat, but it's just a lot of stuff. And I'm like, you could get rid of your stuff. And I'm like, no. I've gotten rid of some things and it feels a little bit more spacious, but at the same time, it's just like I need a bigger closet, that I could walk into. Then all my stuff would fit. And I wouldn't have this issue about needing more space.
I thought
Small
that would be true
room.
for me, not for you, but for me, because I remember like where I used to live, I thought the same thing. Oh, I just need more closet. Now I got this size closet that I have now, and now I'm still saying it again, I need more stuff. I just don't know how to like, I know how to get rid of stuff, but it's just like I accumulate faster than what I'm getting rid of. I still got this duffel bag right here on the side of me that needs to be given away to somebody. So it's hard, girl.
Girl, if you don't, oh, I forgot. You already said that you don't want to take it to the thrift store because you want to make sure people taking care of it when they get it. I just gonna be like, go drop that stuff off.
No, no. Some stuff needs to be given to. I didn't even think of thrift store. I was thinking like I don't know what I was thinking, but some of that stuff could go. But there are just I think two things that I wanted to see if I could sell. That's the only reason why it's still sitting there because I only wore it maybe twice, like each twice.
That
But
makes sense.
I actually been losing weight, so I might be able to fit them.
Come on, losing weight, squeeze on back in that thing, like, yeah. Look at
Is there
me.
anything else? Is there anything else you want to share for our check-in before we move on to your run Zoom?
No, but now you got me thinking how I'd be annoyed that I gotta go under the bed to get clothes.
Go under the bed to get my sports bras and my shoes and
That's what I'm saying. All my workout. I mean, it's organized. All my workout clothes under the bed. And I'd be like, do I really want to go under the bed to get my workout clothes? Anywho, that's here nor there. Under bed is for seasonal clothes, like big old coats for the winter. That's what the under the bed is for. And that's stuff I want to wear all the time. That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
Anyway, all right. So I'm going to take us into the rundown. So today on this here episode, we are starting out in our icebreaker with a LoveLoudd spelling bee. I'm gonna say some words. Y'all gonna spell them. Y'all gonna say some words. I'm gonna spell them. We're gonna see if we're gonna get these things right again. Then heading over into Suite 223, I'm going to be sharing a piece that I wrote back in high school, a little sentimental something from my heart that I'm going to share with y'all. So make sure you tune into Suite 223 for that. Then heading over into the Hot Topic segment, Yaya and I are going to be sharing the story of our writer's journey and who we are as writers and what we love about writing, maybe what we don't like about writing. Do we have routines to get into our writing? Just jump into the segments to learn all there is to know about LoveLoudd and our writing styles. Okay. Yeah. And then in our dorm story segment, we are joined by child author, oh my goodness, tongue twister. We are joined by child author Tyler Blue, who is going to tell us about his book, A Rainy Day. Super excited to have this conversation with him. He's a very, 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 very intelligent young man. And you are definitely going to want to tune into this dorm story segment to get the tea all about him. Then moving on into our announcement segment, we have the community news, y'all, where you get to find out all the information that you need that's going on in the LoveLoudd community. Okay. Everything you need to know is all the way at the end. So make sure you tune in all the way to the end so you don't miss out on nothing. Period. All right. So that is the rundown. And now we're going to head on over into the icebreaker.
Let's do it.
I wish I had some ice. I'm hot.
Oh.
It's hot up in here. But I gotta keep on all my clothes.
It's time to break some ice with your besties, Yaya and Monie. And we are gonna play a game called Akila and Ibby. And if you don't
go ahead.
If you don't know what Akila and Ibby is, that means you can't be our friend because you're probably too young. But Akila and Ibby basically was a movie where a girl was like a spelling bee wizard. So Monie and I are going to say some words to each other and have each other spell it, and we're gonna see who does the best at this spelling bee contest. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if people call it the Akila and Ibby. I just want to say that because I like that movie.
It's just called a spelling bee. That's it. By the way, it was starring Keke Palmer for all the young listeners out there.
Yeah.
Go look it up, Akila and Ibby, if you haven't seen it. Young Keke.
Keep a bag, Keke Palmer. Stay with a bag. Okay, so you want to go first or let me go first? Who's spelling? You go first?
I will. I think my brain is up enough, but we shall see. I will go first.
Okay, so I'm the person telling you the words.
Yes, and I'm spelling it. I'm the spelling beer.
Okay. So the first word has to do with body parts.
Okay.
A sea creature. The word is tentacles.
Tentacles.
Yes, girl.
Oh Lord, tentacles. Okay. Tentacles. TENTICLES. Tentacles.
So close. And that's the same way I spelled it when I was Googling the word, right?
That's not how you spell tentacles?
The I is an A. So it's TENTACLES.
Tentacle. I think because we thinking.
Tinted, but it's tenta. I thought that was crazy too. That's why I gave it to you. All right, next word. In order to get around, we use these types of mobilities. Vehicle. How do you spell vehicle? How do you spell vehicle?
Can you say it properly, please?
Vehicle.
Vehicle is spelled
vehicle.
VEHICLE. Vehicle.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Vehicle.
American language. Okay. When you take your vehicle and you drive down the street, you're going to go see Bay. You want to go a little fast. You go skirt, skirt down the street. How do you spell skirt, skirt?
I did not just ask. That is not a word. Is that really the word? You want me to spell skirt, skirt?
Yeah, please spell skirt, skirt.
SKRRT. Skirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job.
Skirt. That is.
That used to be my favorite ad lib, yo. When music used to.
Skirt.
Okay. This word or phrase means no worries. Hakuna Matata. I know why you're looking at me like that. This is because I said no French. Okay, do you want me to pick another word?
Hakuna Matata. I will try my best. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Phrase. PHRASE.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, say it again. Now I can't say it.
You want me to like say how it's spelled or say it?
No, Hakuna Matata. HAKUNAMATTA or TTA.
No.
It's one T. So, but the rest is right.
Yes. Good job. I'll give you a good job because I told you no French, so I know that's probably why you made that face.
Spell bonjour.
I'm scared to give you my next word.
All right. What's the?
Bonjour. B-O-N.
I was.
J-O-U-R.
Did you say A?
No, J.
Oh yes, that is how you spell.
B-O-N-J.
You better know how to. She better know how to spell bonjour. I send that word damn near every morning.
All right, I'm gonna give you a different word because you're not gonna like the next word that I have.
Because it's not a real word, is it?
It is a real.
Okay, if it's a real word, give it to me.
All right, Abu Dhabi.
The place?
Mhm.
Okay, Abu Dhabi. ABU.
Yes.
DHABI.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
I gave you that word because I couldn't spell it when I was trying to look it up.
It's like Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. Good job, Monie. You got only one wrong when you misspelled it by one letter. Okay.
Alrighty. Your turn, Ms. Love. All right, so your first word is when you cannot believe something has happened to you, you get a little nervous about it, you want to hide. Your word is embarrass.
Oh, God. Okay. Embarrassed. EMBARRASSED.
Embarrassed. Yes.
Yeah.
Come through, honey. Embarrassed.
Thank you. That
All
was
right.
giving me Housewives of dang, what's the ones in the DMV area? Like the way that you just said that. All right, I'm ready.
All right, next one. See, this person not your friend, but they might be your coworker. So you just call them an acquaintance.
AQ. Wait, acquaintance or acquainted? Like the person
Acquaintance. Your acquaintance.
AQU. AINTANCE. Okay.
You forgot the C before the Q. All the other letters were right. It's ACQU and blah blah blah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Acquaintance.
Okay.
All right.
Terry will be helping me with that. Spell check.
All right. So this word is something that is small. Another word for small, minor. Your word is No. Your word is minuscule.
Minuscule. Hey Siri.
At least I think that's what that means. I think I'm using the right definition. Hold on, let me check. In the meantime, you spell the word.
Minuscule.
Minuscule.
MIN. So I'm thinking small, so it's mini. MINI. Skule. Is it like a muscle or SCLE? MINISCLE. Final answer.
That is not the answer, but I also want to tell you the definition. Oh, yes, I was right. Minuscule is extremely small, tiny. Minuscule is spelled MINU.
Oh.
SCULE. Minuscule.
Oh, dang. The English tongue. The American tongue.
The American tongue. All right. And then we have your next word. I don't have a sentence for this. Your word is liaison.
Bro, is that because you're back in your job? Yeah. I don't know how to spell that. Liaison.
Yes, liaison.
That's how you spell it. I don't know how to spell that. LEI SON. I don't know, girl.
Spell it one more time. I got a lot of letters in there. You said
LEI ASON.
You was close, girl. There is no E. It's just LIAISON. L-I is the Lee, A-A-I, Zon, S-O-N, liaison.
Wow, I suck.
I really don't know the definition of that word. I just know how to use it. I'm the liaison between
the middleman.
Right, the person in the middle. All right, last word. Last word. All right. I have a survey for you, so I need you to fill out this questionnaire. Questionnaire is your word.
Q. The face of just me. Q-U-E. I was about to say Q-U-S. Q-U-E-S-T-I-O-N-N-A-I-R-E.
Yes, that is how you spell questionnaire.
Ding, 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 ding.
But I think I got more words right than you. You got, well, no, you got embarrassed. You got embarrassed.
I got one wrong. You got one wrong. And I gave you Hakuna Matata because you added the extra T. So you got 3.5 right. I got
one right.
Right. I got one.
You didn't get acquaintance because you forgot the C. You didn't get minuscule because you put a U instead of an I instead of a U. Liaison, you added an E. Oh, no, you got 2. You spelled questionnaire right. You got 2.
So I got questionnaire what?
Embarrassed.
Oh, okay. All
right. Woo.
We made it. We broke the ice.
We made it. We broke the ice. And now it is time to head on over into Suite 2, 2, 3. Hey y'all, welcome to Suite 223. Today I'm going to be giving you a blast from the past, a poem that I wrote back in high school from a collection of poems that I wrote called A Teenage Heart, in which none of the poems actually have a name. So today I will be reciting poem number 5. I woke up this morning happy to be alive, relieved to open my eyes because I know life has many battles, but I fight them every time I'm able to get through the day. Pray and it shall be done. That's what I was told, so I pray. Ask the questions that remain unanswered to give me a sign, like when I cried about having no shoes and saw a man with no feet. Choirs sing to heavens and open the gates. Angels come down to lift me and take me off my feet. See, now I understand I'm free. Just like in a dream, I can do whatever, but maybe this is a dream and I can't wake up. Tears fall like rain. And I stand only to be left dry, walking towards an unknown place. I began to walk in the sand, but yet I'm by myself. At least that's what's believed. Open waters, beautiful and calm, but there's footprints alongside mine. I wanted to cry, but instead I smile. A light shines from the sky. The wind sings lyrics of the soul. It soothes me. I don't know where I am, where I'm going. I pray on it. Left to be lifted in hard times, I fly. And that is poem number 5.
Yes, fly, 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 and stay fly while you fly.
That is poem number 5.
That poem makes me think of just being grateful for whatever you have, wherever you are in life. I hate to like compare it to the fact that there's somebody else that has less than you or may not have what you have, but just even that aside, like just being grateful, be grateful for what you have because you could not have it, or you may not have it, or there was a time when you prayed for where you are now, so just be grateful for the present.
Yes, absolutely. And per usual, I don't remember what I was going through at the time, but I think for me, it's the fact that it still hits and it still resonates. But there's a lot of pieces of that has my my great grandmother infused in there. So I wouldn't be surprised if I wrote this around the time that she passed away. My great grandmother passed away when I was 16. So and I definitely heard her say before, you know, I once cried about having no shoes until I saw a man with no feet. And it just taught me about being grateful because she used to call me and my sisters poor little rich girls. Like that was her nickname for us. So even reading it back, it's a reminder to me, like just to be grateful, but also understand that I'm not always by myself. Like I have angels protecting me and keeping me lifted in my hard times. And like when we pray for certain things, or we want to call it manifesting for certain things, but just like making sure that we're putting in that work in order for the things that we want to have in our lives, and not expecting it to just happen. Like things are gonna come with the struggle. It's not a matter of just wanting it to happen and then one day it's gonna land in your lap. $1 million, please.
Right.
I would like, if only it was that easy. I wish I had a money tree buried outside. I could go pick my honey's right off the branches.
This
But
world would be so crazy if that was happening. It'd be so
I have
out of
people trying to
hand.
climb over my fence. Shoot, get out my
People do
yard.
crazy stuff though. But
um, yeah, it's just a reminder of being grateful, but also realizing that I'm never really alone, even when I am by myself in solitude. There's
yeah,
always something or someone, however you want to put it, that's with me. I've always, I know everybody somewhere somehow in the Black family household, there was that picture of the footprints in the
yep,
sand,
yep.
the footprints poem.
My aunt had that picture.
Yes, so that's where I got that from too, like just that reminder of like you're always protected, even from things that you can't see or you don't know what's coming. There's always protection with you and around you. So in hard times, like I'm lifted, even when I feel like I can't lift myself, like if I feel like the burdens or whatever is on me is too heavy, there's always going to be a way to make that lighter. I might not see it right away, but yeah, grateful for my ancestors. Amen.
As you spoke, it was funny hearing the sayings that you said your great grandma said, because it's like, did every Black family pass that saying down? Because I definitely remember, and I hated it. Um, my family used to say that me and my cousins were the rich kids on the poor block, and it like, but it was like attached to like y'all, so y'all, like we're,
Or
yeah, spoiled kids. So that's why I didn't like it. But growing up, I saw like what they meant, because I didn't see that we were like, I didn't think that we were like less than, or I felt like we were rich, like, you know.
mm,
So, but now I'm like, oh, like my mom would really take from Peter to give it to Paul.
mm-hmm.
And then the saying, when I was a kid, I did not understand what it meant to the guy without the foot or something like that. Like I thought it was literal, like, oh, God don't got no foot. That's why he ain't got no shoe. Like, what that got to do with me? But
I cried about having no shoes until I saw a man with no feet.
yeah, but like as a kid, I'm like, okay, like that ain't got nothing to do with me. So it's like like what I'm saying is that as an adult, things hit different.
Yeah, as
Things
a kid, you're like,
change.
okay, he can't wear shoes, no way.
Right, right. It's like, oh, you didn't mean that literally. Gotcha. Gotcha. But yeah, thank you for sharing your piece with us at Sweet 223.
Yes, absolutely. I hope that hit for somebody, because now we about to head into another segment, which is
Hot topics.
it'll do. I think Zoom is messing you up, but I'm gonna give it a pass.
It's not Zoom. It's allergy season. My throat is not clear. It's not Zoom.
All
But
right, all right, all right. Allergy saline.
there's some phlegm in my throat.
Sounds so disgusting.
Sorry, y'all.
Like, what is phlegm?
It's the mucus. That's
Okay,
the.
I didn't. Okay.
Oh, I thought you didn't know. Let's go to Sweet Tooth. I mean, let me just stop talking. Where we going, Monie? Through there.
I cannot. Let's go.
Hey y'all, we are now in our hot topic segment. Just in case you skip to your loo to this segment, Moni and I are talking about writing. If you didn't know, we have two books that we self-published, two poetry books, self-named LoveLoudd, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, but separate from ourselves. Who is Moni as a writer? Who is Yaya as a writer? How did you know you were a writer, etc. So,
etc., etc.,
etc. How do you spell that? ETC.
etc. Dot.
I don't know how to spell the whole thing, but
When does it ever need to be spelled?
right. All right, moving on. All right, so let's get into our hot topic segment. Moni, if somebody was to ask you what was the beginning of your LoveLoudd journey regarding like the poetry books, what would you say?
It would take me back to 2016 when Yaya called me and was like, "Hey, remember we been talking about all them poems and stuff that we had when we was writing when we was back up in college? You want to go ahead and make that book?" And I was down. I was like, yeah, of course." So that's really where it started for me. Because I definitely, I don't know. Maybe you pushed me to do it because I had thought about it, just like, do I have the time really? But I think like you putting it in my ear, and I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about it. She mentioned it. Why not? And then just the fuel behind that, just to finally start it and get it done, and doing the research on how to publish a book, how to make a website. Oh, we're gonna do these promo pins. Where we're gonna get the pins from to promote the page. We got to make an Instagram page to promote the business. We got to make an email address. Like that was us deciding to make that poetry book was literally the jump start of what LoveLoudd is today. All the way back to 2016 before we even started podcasting. Yeah, I think it's just more so, I guess, a testament to our friendship as well as our business. Just taking what we did in college and finally turning it into something more than just those us having gatherings and writing poems and reading them to each other.
Yeah.
Let's finally do something with it. Because I feel like aside from that, the only thing I really did in college to as far as my poetry was when I did the campus movie fest and I turned my poem into a short film. Yaya was my main actress. I was like, "Girl, you should do this." She was like, "Okay." There was no dialogue. It was all music, but it was based off line for line a poem that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
About being with somebody or being in love with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Or thinking about somebody else, wanting to be with somebody else, what that world would be like. So yeah, that's where it starts. 2016, getting that phone call and deciding to actually turn our thoughts into a reality.
Yeah. I would say for me, I knew for the longest since I was in middle school that I wanted to have a book. What kind of book? I wasn't sure. A novel. I didn't want it to be like a history book about me or anything like that, but I just knew that like in the front of the book, how did these people get their names on the book? And I just always envisioned my name on a cover of a book. And one time I was cleaning out my room, thinking I'm doing spring cleaning, and I came across all these books that I had, and I'm like, maybe I can use these. But while going through my poems, a lot of them weren't on the same theme, or I didn't feel like a lot of them were mature enough to be, published. They felt like I don't know, they just didn't hit enough to like feel comfortable with other people reading it.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to my brother and I asked him, because he's into poetry, he writes and recites and everything too. And I told him about my interest of having a book, and I asked him how many poems I would need in order to have a solid book. And he said, I would say a good 15. I ain't had a good 15. I had maybe four, maybe seven. Like, and then I also thought about like some poems that I like memories that I had with poetry would go back to college, like how Moni said, when we would share our poems with one another, we'd like swap books real quick. You read mine, I read yours, or I just wrote this, what do you think? And then I think about excuse me, the time where me, Moni, and our other friend Jaslyn, we were talking about like how boys are so immature, when do they ever become men? And we wrote a poem like that. So I'm like, if we were able to do that back then, like I want to try that again. But also, and like we used to say love loud, like that was our name sometimes, because Moni didn't like when I said loud love.
I
So
didn't. It was only based off where our side of the room was. So since I was on the left, Loud went first. I was like, nah, we got to switch this.
yeah,
We switching this around. Loud love is giving people the wrong idea.
yeah. And the colors of our room gave another wrong idea too. So we didn't need any more confusion. But basically, I always liked the way that Monie wrote her poetry. I like the way that we connected in that way. And I felt like I could never get the idea of Love Loud out of my head. So I was like, I gave it some time because I didn't want to regret it. So I gave it some time before I called Moni. And then when I finally called her, I knew I was set on that idea. I just needed her to say yes. And it was a immediate yes. So it makes sense for you saying like yes, because it seemed like something that you were like letting having a thought in your head too of creating a book too. So maybe me reaching out was the final thing that you needed for us to go ahead and do this thing together.
That's what I'm saying. That little push. I was like, you know what? Might as well. I've been sitting on these poems for years.
Yeah.
Might as well put them in a book.
And now they're out there, and so many people have our books and was able to get feedback and everything like that. So I'm excited about the journey that we've had thus far. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't write as many poems as I have since then, or I probably would still have my books collected in the closet. I probably would never go into a poetry night or gotten up in front of a mic in front of people to share. So I appreciate the connection that we were able to make in that, even though it was made before, but now it's like an LLC now, like it's official.
Right.
We married
Official.
now.
It's on paper.
Yes, it's on paper. Speaking of paper, when did you start your writing journey? Like where do you remember being? Like how did you write?
Writing journey. I guess I can go as far back as I can remember. I want to say middle school, because middle school is around the time where I got into um, writing forums and started writing fan fiction. And for those that don't know, fan fiction is where you would create fictional stories, but you would put real life celebrities in them. So let's say somebody wrote a story and had Mariah Carey be the main character, or Usher,
Okay.
or Keke Palmer, but like using real life celebrities. So I would be in the forums around that time. It was all about Bow Wow and B2K. So
Yeah.
every girl that was writing at the time would use their names, and then they had it to where you would put Y/N, which means you would insert your name in the space wherever it was in the story. So some people were writing like play style, it could be YN dash, and it would have the dialogue, or some people wrote it novel style. So people were writing in different types of ways. And what I loved about it so much, which is different from how the internet is now, we didn't know who anybody was. We couldn't see any picture of anybody. We couldn't hear anybody's voice. It was just a matter of people just truly being into the story and comments like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he would do that. What's she gonna do now? You have to write
They were
more. Right?
intrigued.
Yes. So intrigued, which made it more interesting. So I was using my lunchtime to go to the computer lab in middle school on the old school, the original Mac, the original Mac with the color with the see-through
Oh my
back,
God.
the original Mac desktop, go into the forum and start typing my story. It's not something that I drafted. I would literally just sit there and think of it off the top of the dome, just do. Or I would go home and I would write it in my notebook. I still have binders to this day that I've
To this
writing
day.
to this day, writing from my a binder full of stories. I would just separate my stories with a divider, and I would write all my stories out by hand because I didn't have a laptop at the time. So the best thing for me to do was to write everything down. So when I was in high school, no, this was still middle school. It started in middle school. So I guess 8th grade, going deeper into into middle school. I would, like, sometimes if I had some extra time in class and I wasn't really doing anything or not really paying attention, I would write in my stories on just line notebook paper, and I would pass it around. People would be reading it. They'd be like, oh, you write that next part? Yeah, like people would be looking like the next day in school for the next part of the story. Like, girl, that was so good. Girl, you gonna write some more at lunch? So like that's middle school is where my writing journey began. Because I think as a child, I used to get lost in books, and I used to be like so lost, like I could see it playing out in my head. And I used to always, I'm like, I want to be able to do that. Like I want to be able to write something so people get lost in it and just in a trance, like just so much into the story that either they can relate to it or just so interesting that they can't look away.
Mm.
So I've always wanted to be able to do that. I can't remember the first script that I wrote. That I wish I could remember, but I wrote so many at a time. I was such a scatterbrain. I write one and go to another one. But yeah, literally still have those binders. I wish I had them here. They're in California, but I wish I had them here so that y'all could like physically see. Like I was true to that thing. I wasn't new to that thing. I was true, and I did it through college. And then when I finally, got a computer, I started typing them up. But yeah, that's where it all started. Middle school.
Yeah. Mine started in daycare when I started to scribble on paper. It was just art. It was just always art, a little artist. But as far as my memory can take me back, it goes to middle school as well. Um, I remember like I used to. I'm sure like there was a teacher where you learn poetry, you learn what that stuff is or whatever. I was I was always into writing, not big essays and stuff like that, but it was always, even with my work, when my work was done, it was always fun to go back and read what I was able to draft up or complete. But as far as like creative writing, it takes me back to when I would hear songs like Monica's So Gone or Brandy Sitting Up in My Room, or like songs that came out when I was around that age.
Right.
It brings me back to this book. This is my little
Girl, not you pulling your notebook out on me when I literally just said I wish I could pull out my binder.
I know, I thought it was a good segue. Because this is the one of the books that I still have that I wrote. Like I would basically take titles of, like I said, songs and different things. So like this one says Fighting Temptations. I'm just flipping past it just to see, just so you can see. The closer I get to you. Oh, I got a song about Jamil, a poem by Jamil, my little brother, about being annoying. Crazy in Love. So Gone, Here So Gone. Can I read it? So
You want to read So Gone? Go read it.
So gone like yesterday. So gone like February, because today is May. So gone like my ex. So gone, boy, you don't even believe me. Then let's bet. So gone, you weren't meant to be mine. Like Monica said, devoted so much time. But sorry, you're too late. By the way, I already found someone new to date. So get out of my way and find someone new. I don't want you because you ain't nothing but a bugaboo.
I feel a little Destiny Child in there.
Yeah. This, I didn't put dates or anything, but like this is my little, like this is how old the book is. It's like
Yeah, that's how it's similar to mine. I told you most of my poems from high school, no dates, just thoughts.
Yeah. Well, this one is a thought too. Cuddles, that was my dog. I will never forget my pet dog, Cuddles. My mom gave him away because he was not trained good enough. I love him. So it's like a little journal, and then like some poems I typed, and then some stuff I wrote. Look, but this is like look like a script because it says person one, person two, person one, person two. Like it's like a lot of creative writing. Even though I wasn't like trained, like Monie went to school for know how to do scripts and stuff like that. I wasn't trained in it, but I like have journals where I wrote stuff. So it all started when I was a little girl, just like trying to recreate like my perspective of a thought. Like somebody put a thought out there, and I gotta write this out, like what my thoughts came from that, or a song, or I would have wrote it like this way, or what my little 12-year-old brain told me to write. So that's where my writing journal began.
Yeah, that's so funny. I did something similar. I actually have a story called "Can We Talk for a Minute?" because I was listening to Tevin Campbell, and I was like, I like that. And then inspiration comes from everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What types of different, and which one do you enjoy most and why?
Wait, repeat the question. I think you broke up a little bit.
Oh, dang, I didn't mean to break up with you like that. What are the different types of writings you do, and which do you enjoy the most and why?
All right. So, of course, y'all know I write poetry. I also am a screenwriter. I write screenplays, means I write movies, short films, feature films, television shows. I do some blogging. I have done some short story writing that I got into over the past couple of years. I've recently gotten into wanting to write a novel. So I started writing like my first chapters just to get into like a rhythm of trying to start writing a novel. what other forms of writing do I do? Journaling. I definitely do journaling, not as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Text messages.
right. I think I put more notes in my phone now than I actually do write down on paper. But yeah, I would have to say, yeah, poetry, screenwriting, different forms of screenwriting, short stories, trying to get into novel writing and journaling and some blogging. I like, yeah, I've done some blogging as well. My favorite medium at the top of the list is most definitely is screenwriting. Like I said, just going back to when I started writing when I was in middle school and just telling stories and people being
Yeah.
enthralled in it and wanting more. That's where it all started. I was writing scripts before I knew what scripts were. Because I also did um stage plays. We had one assignment we had to write our own stage play. So I did that once before. So that's how I kind of got into it a little bit, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really dive deep into it until I did go to film school and actually learn the formatting on how to properly create a screenplay. But I love character development. I love creating the world. I love creating the dialogue. I just love being enthralled into the story and then allowing other people to take what I wrote and like be able to relate to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an amazing process for me. And some people be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, how can you do that? Sometimes I don't know how I do it either. It's not an easy process. I be having to brainstorm, sit on it, come back. Like my outlines be looking crazy. I be having notes on the wall. I be having, using my post-its and all types of things to help me outline my stories. But I think it's the end product for me. Like, yes, the process and like the pre-planning and the pre-production of it all, but then also like the end product and having people read it and give me feedback and help me to make it better. And
Mm-hmm.
then like fully being done with it, like, yes, this is mine. I'm done. Like that's why I'm so proud that I was able to teach my students how to do it last school year. I'm like, y'all don't even understand. Y'all not gonna realize what y'all did, how great it is that y'all were able to make a 5-page screenplay. And then some of them went beyond 5 pages. I'm like, that's not an easy feat. Like y'all did that. Y'all told stories. Like if you really wanted to, you can build on this, film it, one day. Like y'all are writers. You're screenwriters now. So I was like, which is one of the reasons why I'm teaching it. Like I wish, I'm like, who could I have been now had I had that when I was younger. So yeah, I just love that I'm able to just hone in on my craft and truly be able to tell stories. I have not been screenwriting as much as I would like to, but I'm definitely planning to get back into it. My plan is to, by the end of the year, at least by December, to actually write a screenplay, get some feedback on it. And a bonus would be to have a table read, like actually have people read it and get some live feedback after reading through it. I would really, really love to do that. So I got to get it back into my screenwriting bag. You feel me? I got so many ideas that I've been writing down. But yeah, screenwriting is my favorite. I love telling stories.
Um, Mine, I would say poetry. Well, okay, I forgot to answer the first question. I write poetry. I write blogs. I'm the typical person who may journal here and there. I think I do enjoy essays. Like when I was in school, that was never really a problem. I'm just a procrastinator. Um, but I'm not like a script writer or anything like that. I did try to write a novel once, but I think it was too close to my story because it was based off of a situation that I went through that is probably still on my Google Drive, but I just like never went back um to finish it or to try to work on it. But
I remember I'm the one that was telling you it should be a book.
a lot of people said it should have been a book because it was crazy. But my favorite is poetry, and I think my favorite is poetry because I'm also thinking about my art, like visual art that I have, and a lot of it starts off as a challenge. Like, regarding my art, can I draw a dog? Like I shared before, can I draw a cat? Can I draw um hands? Like it's just like something that I feel like I can't do. So um the same thing regarding poetry. Can I write about people being in love with each other but use symbolism and people, like it sounds like I'm talking about a volcano or an ocean, but I'm really talking about this topic? Or can I talk about can I twist this song to be something else like, just mirroring a whole different experience, and it ends up coming up dope. Or I'll be sitting there watching TV, or sometimes I'm driving, and I hate when it happens when I'm driving, because I'm like, I can't write it down, and then by the time I get to a red light, I forgot exactly how I worded it, and the wording mattered, because then that last word of that first line connected the second line so that it rhymed. Is like it all matters. So I was like, dang, I forgot it. But um sometimes something will come to my mind, and then I'll pause the TV and just like, can I expand this line? Okay, let me put this here, let me put this here, like rearrange it so that it tells a story. Because I also see that some people, music too, they come up with stuff that's rhyming or that's catchy. But what happened to songs and poems and spoken word that tells a story? And that's what's most important for me. Like, you're sitting here and you're saying you like scripts because people can you're creating a story, and then people can relate to that story, and it feels good. But for me, it's the same thing, but going into my artwork and my writing poetry too. This is my story with a little twist as well, but can you relate to it? Does it make sense when you read it? Is it telling that story that I want you to get from it? If it's not telling that story, then I need to go back, or it doesn't feel good to me, because you don't understand the stages that I'm trying to get you through. So it's, again, more than about rhyming words, more than a pretty collection or anything, but making it go, like making it make sense, like a book, a novel, a short story.
Yeah,
It's
I
my
mean, poetry
poetry.
is storytelling. Shoot, my favorite poet, storyteller is Tupac. You feel me? But yeah, it's absolutely, it's all storytelling. It's all enthralled in how people perceive and create their own perception of what it is that they're saying and how they relate to it. Whether it's the way that they're watching a movie or reading a story or reading poetry, at the end of the day, what's the message received?
Hmm.
You know, how did it resonate? How did that make you feel?
How does it feel?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay, so what are some rituals, if any, that you do before or while you are writing?
Ooh, I definitely have playlists that I go to for when I'm writing. So depending on what it is that I'm writing, like sometimes with my with screenwriting, I have playlists specifically for what I'm writing about. So let's say I was writing a show that takes place in the 90s. While I'm writing it, I'm going to be listening to my 90s playlist. It's just I'm going to use music that I envision being on that particular show, short film, movie, whatever.
Set in the
So I
mood, like the
exactly try to
visual.
set the tone for what I want the vibe to be like for the particular screenplay that I'm writing.
Okay.
Um so yeah, and I do actually have a writer's playlist. I need to update it, but like if I'm just writing randomly, like sometimes I'm just in a mood to like journal, I might turn on some jazz music. I have another playlist that's just a writer's playlist. I got a lot of J. Cole on it. Just it just depends on the type of mood that I'm in or what I want to listen to. There
Mm-hmm.
are times where I do meditate because I have to step away a lot to give myself a brain break. Sometimes I gotta turn on my praise break playlist, like Lord, I need you, I need you. But yeah, I definitely meditate, listen to a lot of music. The genre change periodically depending on what I'm writing. Um, and sleep. Sometimes I just need to sleep. Come back to another day. You're not gonna do it today. You need to sleep. You need to think about it, and most likely, I'm gonna end up having a dream or having a thought about it. While I'm sleeping, or even like stepping away like during the day or like the next day, randomly pop into my head like, oh my gosh, I know how to end that scene. I'm like, let me write this down real quick. Sorry. Which is why I keep a notebook on me. I keep a notebook on me everywhere I go. Because like I always say, inspiration comes from everywhere. And when I have that idea, if I can't put it in my phone real quick, I prefer to write it down in my little notebook that I keep in my purse. But yeah, that's pretty much the most real ritualistic thing that I do, aside from like making sure I set up my laptop. I gotta make sure I have my tea. I gotta make sure that I got my pens for highlighting for whatever I need. Like I gotta be good to go and in the zone. Hit play on that playlist, crack them fingers. let's
My
let's get
God.
into let's get into the storytelling. Let's check that outline. Where we at?
The latter part is me when I'm writing, not creative. Well, I guess everything is creation, right? But um, when I'm writing like essays or research purposes, I have to I have to have things organized. Even when I'm reading a book, I know we're not talking about reading a book, but
Yeah.
when I'm reading a book, I like if I start off on a page and it's like, oh, this is real good. Not like a novel, not like Sister Soldier books, but like like self-help books
Yeah,
or
yeah.
stuff like that. I pull out my highlights and I'm like, okay, yellow is for definitions, pink is for I need to use this for myself.
Ooh, you
Sometimes
annotating.
yeah, I
Okay.
annotate, I'll write on the side, different stuff like that. So that's how I am when I'm writing too. Certain things I like to have things organized in a certain type of way when I'm writing, like my pink pen or my purple pen or things like that. Even when I talked about my calendar that I just got, I try to like, okay, everything in pink means love loud. Everything that's purple means personal stuff.
Same.
I, I try. Sometimes I lose the pen, so I gotta switch the color up.
Now it means.
Right. But ritual wise, my main thing is do not disturb. I do not like to be interrupted when I'm writing anything creatively 100% because it's like it's a thought, like Moni said, sometimes a thought just comes to you and you gotta pull out your little notebook or my notes from my phone and just put it down real quick before it goes away. And if I'm interrupted, it's probably not gonna come back to me. You just messed it up. So you won't mess it up. Let me put it on do not disturb. Let me lock the doors. So I'm not like Auntie Yaya, somebody come into my room unexpected. Um, and then it depends. So like when I try to write an intimate, like me and my boo thing kind of poem, I had to set the tone for that. So I put on like uh that dun, 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 like songs like that will like put me in that space to think about it. Or like sometimes I'll put if I'm writing about like a heartbreak, I'll put a sad song, but it's the volume is a little low though, so I can like think, and I don't want to like feel like I'm too like hearing it too much that it comes in my poem, but just give me like put my mind there.
Yes, similar to what I do, just help set the tone for like the for what you're writing.
Yeah, and then of course I gotta have a snack by my side with my water because sometimes it doesn't come, it's not like a 5 minute thing, especially with poems. It's not, even though I could read it to you in 5 minutes, well less than 5 minutes, but I gotta sit there, I gotta rearrange the stanza and everything like that. It comes to me in different ways, but it's not coming to me the way that I'm reading it to you now.
Right. Like I need a
Which
glass of wine so I can get in my feelings.
not well, not that, but it's more so I need this stuff here because I might want it within that hour or that time frame. And if I get up, then that's canceling out my do not disturb because then I'm disturbing myself by getting up to go get something. So I make sure, like how you said, you make sure you have the utensils, the pen and everything next to you. I make sure I got my snack and my water or whatever else I might want, my blanket, like whatever it is that I need. I don't have to be like in this particular space. I don't have to like be in my bedroom or be at a desk. Like I can be in my car, I can be on the couch, I can be at the park, like different spaces. That does not matter as long as I'm like disconnected. And if I am around other people, that person, please know that do not disturb me. Like if I am around somebody else, it's probably quiet time. They're doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing, and I know I'm not going to be disturbed. Or they're writing, excuse me, they're writing a poem too. So like, oh, let's have a poetry writing session, kind of like that. So next, I feel like I was kind of getting into it. What is your editing process? So how do you go about writing? You said that you have a notebook there. You said that you sometimes it's paper and pen, but is there a specific editing process that you have? Do you use apps or people to help you?
My initial editing process is to just throw up on the paper. Like whatever thoughts come to mind, don't worry about it being perfect. Just get it out. in the most imperfect way. Whatever's on the mind, jot it down, get it out. Then I go back and I edit to what's supposed to make sense. Especially, I do it in my poetry. I do it when I write an essay. I do it when I write a blog. Like, don't worry about the formatting or nothing. Just get your thoughts and feelings out onto the paper. Like that, I feel like that's pretty much for anything. And then go back and edit. And then once I go back after to do my second edit, I'll probably run it through a spell check for grammatical purposes, and then for like poetry, I guess for pretty much anything, I'll send it to somebody to get their opinion on it so they can let me know what they're thinking about it, whether it be blog, poetry, or I most likely will read the poem to someone, because usually when I send it, somebody wants me to read
Oh, that's me. I'd be like, this not hitting for me. Can you read it? And I'm like, oh yeah, girl, yeah.
But definitely with screenwriting, it's so many times I go through the editing process with that. Send it to somebody, they'll give me some notes, give me some feedback. I'll do another edit, send it back and forth until it's like fine and pristine. Like, you'll see like versions of my script to be like version 1, version 2, version 3, version 12.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, even though it's sometimes can be a long, tedious editing process, I still love it so much because of the way that it comes out in the end. Especially when I'm having people read it and it resonates with them, and it resonates so much that they think I wrote about them. My writer people know. Y'all can relate to somebody read something like, you writing about me? No, actually, I'm not. But that means I did my job well, because I was inspired by something else and you were able to resonate with that. Which was sometimes used to scare me about writing, because I didn't want people to think that I was directly writing about them because they were in similar situations, and me having to explain like, no, that's not you. You're not the only person that has gone through something like that. There may have been there's definitely bits and pieces that you can relate with. Hell, I can relate to it. That's why I wrote it. But I would never just blatantly take somebody's story, write it without their permission. But like a lot of people's stories and experiences, like they intersect. So I expect people to read it and think that it was about them. So I've gotten over that hurdle. I think the only person for sure that can say that I've written about them is my mother. Because I specifically wrote something for her to be like, wait a minute, that's me. Why are you talking about me and my blood pressure pills? And it was a mother that was whose role it was. So she definitely knew it was her. I'm like, mother, you inspired me. She was like, that's all right. It's good. But yeah, so also as far as my editing process, I like to send my work out to different types of people who read different types of things. So
not different types of people. She got aliens reading it. She got doctors.
So some people don't read screenplays; they write novels, or some people don't even know what the formatting of a screenplay is or how it's supposed to be. But as long as they can read the story and give me questions, like I was like, how can I make it better? Is there anything that doesn't make sense? Like anything like that, or even too, when I'm sending an email, I send quick to, hey Ma, I'm about to send this email out. I need you to read this. That she be like, that's too many words. You saying too much. 2 sentences. That's it. Why are you putting all that in there? They don't need to know all that. I was like, oh, all right. But I already grammatically corrected it.
Yeah.
And then Grammarly is my best friend. Grammarly I use almost every day. I have it on my phone. I have it on my computer. I definitely triple check my work when it comes to Grammarly. I very much appreciate having that app on my phone and on my computer. It automatically lets me know like how an email is sounding, or how like something is sounding in a paragraph, if I'm trying to make it sound like more professional or a little more nice or more stern. I'm using the wrong words, but it'll tell you where you are as far as like your verbiage and how it's coming off when you write something. So, and then also it spell checks everything. So yep, that's pretty much my process. I do a little something, give it to somebody else, they give it back to me, give me some feedback, and I fix it until I feel like it's ready to be done.
So for me, if it's essays or an email, sometimes text messages, I send it to my first go-to person, depending on the text message. But let's just stick to essays, essays, and like work related or school related stuff. I send it to my mom, and that's after Microsoft Word and whatever else did its thing. I send it to my mom for support before I send it off to a professor or professional. A lot of times with emails is just I say out loud, this is my point, and then am I making that point? The same thing that I just shared about the poetry. Am I making that point in the email? Because I hate going back and say, oh, I forgot to say this, or this wasn't
Mhm.
said, or whatever. Um, but yeah, it was my first editor was my mom. That I always depend on her, and my family depends on her too. Like my cousins will send her stuff, my brothers, my aunt. She's that person that you go to. She was out before Grammarly was out. Okay, on the editing. Uh, when it came to poetry, I remember having a conversation with my brother because it just sometimes I didn't know the placement where my periods or explanation points should go, or am I saying this loud or am I not? Like, where should it go? And he basically helped me to understand that there's no official rule of punctuation, um, or how your format has to be, or if you want to capitalize or if you don't want to capitalize, like all that is your world, and the readers are just in it. Like you can make
Mhm.
it however you want it to be, and that helped me because I was like nervous of, which is a running theme, just don't want to be incorrect about something. So I just needed that support, which helped me to like, okay, I don't have to worry about that. Let me just write. My editing process for poetry, I always think about the movie, thing. I just had the name in my head, the Five Heartbeats, when
Mhm.
he was writing, no matter how hard you try, we can't just say goodbye, something like that. And he was like writing the lyrics to the songs and tossing the paper and writing the lyrics and tossing the paper. And then the sister picked it up and like not in order, but in the movie they were making the lines flow and putting the song together. And when I'm writing, like I said earlier, sometimes lines come to me and they're not in order, and I think I still have the papers from one of my latest poems that I wrote, where it's like scratching off here, writing here, a star asterisk here, the rest of that is over there. The letter A, like a tiny A here, that means go to that other A there, like 1, 2, 3, like all over. So I'm like decoding the poem as I'm writing it. I finally typed it because I got tired of like flipping the papers or whatever. But the same way, if you saw the Five Heartbeats, how he wrote stuff, that's the way that I will write too. And sometimes it'll be on post-it notes and just random stuff, like whatever, because I'll write somewhere and then it's coming from somewhere else and I'll come across it like, oh, I don't remember writing this, but let me finish it off, kind of thing. So just putting puzzle pieces together pretty much. Um yeah, and proofreading with my poetry, I don't really like have people proofread because of what I just said about my brother, but it's more so of like, is my message, like I said, is my message
Yeah.
getting across? And a lot of the messages getting across, that's how me and Moni's, the collaborative poems that we have together came across, because we used to send poems to each other and then send it back already completed. Or like finish it and then it's like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, she thought she finished. No, I'm gonna add more. And then I'll bounce it back to her and she like add more. And it's like those became the puzzle pieces too. So I will say that's a part of the editing process as well. While I'm speaking, I'm thinking about the rituals when I said the D&D. I don't know why my
Mhm.
mind went here, but I remember just like thinking about like how ideas just randomly come to you.
Mhm.
I was sub teaching a class and an idea came to me and I could not get it out of my head, and I just like for that whole day like just kept writing the poem down on different pieces of paper, and I had to come back later like which one went first, like putting that puzzle piece together too, because obviously if I have a classroom of middle school kids, I can't have them on hush for the rest of the day. I gotta transition them, I gotta do the work or whatever for them too. But like that was like, I think maybe that's the first markers that I can remember of being in an environment where I can't sit on do not disturb the rest of the day. Like I have a job that I have to do. I can't ignore it because they talk, they do things. Um, but yeah, that's all a part of the experience of writing, which I think is a beautiful thing too. Not everything that comes to your mind comes in order.
Mhm.
It's disorganized chaos, but you're able to put it together and make it flow and make something beautiful of it.
Right. I'm a professional chaos coordinator. What you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for sharing your writing journey and things about you as a writer.
yeah, yeah.
And we're going to now move on to our dorm story segment featuring child author Tyler Blue.
See y'all over there. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, we have the youngest guest ever to embrace truth carpet. We have child author Tyler Blue, who is going to discuss his children's book, A Rainy Day. So first and foremost, Tyler, let the people know, how old are you and what inspires you to write a children's book?
Well, as you previously stated, my name is Tyler Blue, and I'm 11 years old. And what inspired me to start writing my books was, well, when I was young, about 3 years old, I was very proficient at reading. So as I started to get older, I gained the desire to help younger people also learn to read because I think that it's a very important skill once you grow up. So I wanted to really help.
Awesome. Just
Oh, that's
sitting here and listening to you speak, you are very proficient with your words. I'm actually very impressed. and the and the fact that you wanted to feed into other children to ensure that they know how to read also is very honorable of you. I love that.
Thank you.
the other part I like is too, you said age 3. So that stuck out because a lot of people don't think that babies or toddlers or even people your age have input or matter or have things to say or want to give back. So it really means a lot for us as grown-ups to hear what you have to say and that you want to give back to other people. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank
So
you.
the actual process, how did you go about creating your book?
Well, I'd say the full process was, well, I was very young when I started making my books, around 6 years old. And at that age, I wasn't really the best at just straight writing. However,
Okay.
with some help from my mother, we all together, we were able to make some pages, and we were able to group together enough words to just make a good book for children to understand. And we just wanted to make sure that we had it good. We wanted to make sure that we had it to the proficiency where a child could read, somebody younger than me. So we had to base it down a little bit more. But yeah,
I
we
want
broke it up.
Okay, so I want to know, your book is called A Rainy Day. Did you choose that book title or the theme of your book because you like rain, or you really had a favorite raincoat or rain boot, or what inspired you to write the story that you wrote?
So this one's a pretty funny story.
Okay.
So around the age that I started to write my books, whenever it would rain, my mom would always, I had this kind of duck coat and some boots and a little raincoat that I would wear whenever it was raining. And I would always go out into the backyard and jump into the puddles. So
Oh,
because my mom saw me do this when I was trying to find a topic for my book, she reawakened that memory. So I decided to make a book about that. Something a little fun that I like to do when I was younger.
Now, right
that's really
behind you, I can see a little bit of some raindrops, seem like raincoats and rain boots. Is that the illustration for the book behind you?
Oh yes, actually I have it right here. This is my book.
aw,
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
it is. So, did you illustrate yourself? Like, did you draw little cartoons and then have a professional help you to design your cover and the pictures inside of your book?
Well, at 6, not so much. But I did have a professional do it and they did really good. And I really enjoyed the illustrations and I liked how it looked a little cartoony. So yeah, I liked it. I liked the yeah.
We like it too. So, what advice or encouragement would you share with others who may be listening, whether they're kids or adults? Maybe they want to write a book. What would you suggest they do?
I would definitely suggest that if you have that idea in mind, then you should always just strive for it. You shouldn't stop until you're ready and complete with your success or progress. If you think you can't do it, then maybe take a break. But if you know you can, then just keep on going and you'll eventually succeed.
Malibu, y'all. Eventually we'll succeed. Just keep going. Don't give up. Come on now. I love it. Come on, encouragement. Encouragement. I
Oh.
also would like to know, in addition to the advice, you may be only 11 years old, but there's a future ahead of you. What do you see yourself doing? Do you see yourself being a writer, writing more books? Do you see yourself going on another career path? What do you want to do, Tyler?
Well, I'm not so sure about being an author. However, my future ahead, I plan to be a lawyer, a family attorney, or maybe a business attorney.
Yes, okay,
Be
Tyler.
in a court of law so I can use my speaking skills, my public speaking skills, to help in any way I can.
Yes, absolutely. Helping other youth to want to help them read, but then also in the future still choosing a career path that is still helping others. Bravo, Tyler. I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you. I can't wait to see what you grow into from just being so proficient at such a young age. I'm amazed. And most kids don't even know even close to what they want to do, which is fine. But the fact that you have this vision now, I can only imagine how you will prosper.
Right, and most kids don't know what proficient means. This is the third
Right.
time Simone has used that word in this segment right here. So shout out to you, Tyler. I think we're going to be using the word proficient for the rest of this week.
Right. I'm going to take that into my classroom. Let me use a proficient for the word of the week.
Word of the week is proficient.
All right. Tyler, before we go, thank you so much for being here. We want you to let the people know where they can find you or your book to purchase, because there's definitely a lot of listeners that have young ones that would love to have this book in their hands for their children.
So you can contact me. You could find me on Instagram at Dr. Tyler Blue. And in case you didn't know already, I also have 2 other books.
I didn't know that.
I have A Sunny Day and A Snowy Day.
Oh my God. Three books in, y'all. Three books in. That is amazing. We thought it was just the one. Look at that.
Right. Wait, I have another question. How does it feel to have the thoughts that you had in your head and creating these ideas and putting it into fruition with your mom? How does it feel to see your projects be in your hands or something that people can purchase?
To be honest, I feel really proud about it because of all this work that I've done. And I know there's not a lot of people my age that can say that they've done as many things as I have. They've been an author to 3 books. They've been to many different places, done book readings for people older than them, and inspired other people and other children. But I would have to sum it up and say that I'm very proud of myself, and I want to.
That's what's up.
I'm proud of you too. I am proud of you too, Tyler. Yes, I'm very proud. That puts a smile on my face.
Yes. So we're definitely going to put the link to your Instagram as well as the link to your books down in the description box on YouTube and our podcast platform so that everyone can be in the know, follow you when you come up with your 4th book or when you become and then also support you and purchase your books.
Yeah, I might even have you come to the school to talk to my students, inspire them for something that they want to do in their lives, to know that there are children their age doing something now. You don't have to wait to be an adult or go to high school or be in college. You can do something right now. So continue to be an inspiration, Tyler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your time. We appreciate you. Until next time.
See ya.
Bye. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. Yes, this is it. Episode 13 is now coming to a close. But before we go, we need to tell you a few.
So for our first thing, we want to make sure that we give a shout out to Tyler Blue. Thank you so much for being a guest on our podcast. It was a pleasure having you talk about your experience as a writer, and just learn a lot from you as a child author. your journey that you went through. So if you're listening, we're going to put his information down below, but you can find him on Instagram, Dr. Tyler Blue. That's DrTylerBlue. And of course, he's going to be posted on our Instagram page, so you can just click that link to go along and follow him that way if you prefer.
All right, and since we are still, we're actually going into September, so I'm not going to tell you the August question of the month. I'm going to tell you the September question of the month, which is, I have no idea what it is. Because I just realized when we originally did this, it was the August question of the month. But when this comes out, it is going to officially be September.
Yes. Let me, cause I was like, oh wait, no, I posted it. And then I'm like, no, that was August.
That was August. August was talking about board and card games. Now we're in September and we're talking about something else.
Yes, we are talking about what is a talent that you wish you had.
Yes, we are talking all about the talents. So, do you wish you could play an instrument? Do you wish that you could dance? Do you wish that you were a scientist? You were able to, I don't know, put chemicals together in a lab. I don't know, but that is the September question of the month. What talent do you wish you had? Maybe you wish you had more than one, but make sure that you find the question of the month on our Instagram page and put your answer right on underneath there, and look for our video when it's posted up on YouTube, and you can answer under there as well and listen to our answers.
Yes, and speaking of YouTube, if you watch our YouTube content, if you like our podcast, if you like our Instagram, we ask that you kindly leave a review for us to let us know how you feel about what we're doing, or if you have any input about the topics that we're discussing. You can type that down, or you can literally say it on our Anchor account. So you go over to Anchor and you can push the little record button and leave us a review. That way, if you want to hear your voice on our podcast or maybe our social media content.
All right, y'all. And just like summer is coming to a close, Truth Carpet is also coming to a close. Girl, we got, 3 more episodes left? We got 3 more episodes left in the season.
I remember when it was 15, I was like, dang.
We are down to 3, and it's crazy to think that we've been doing this every other week since February. I think about it every time when it comes down to the close, and like we really been getting down with the get down despite whatever happens, obstacles, blase, we still do the damn thing.
The no audio.
Twice. Happened twice this season, but that is not stopping us. We're still putting out this content and giving y'all what y'all need, being all up in y'all ears every 2 weeks.
Yes. Shout out to us for the consistency.
Yes, absolutely. And invite me to a cookout. I'm hungry.
The way your face is when you're saying that. It's so funny.
Where the cookout at? I'll do some poetry. Just give me some barbecue.
I haven't been to one cookout this year.
Really? Dang, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't been to a cookout either. Who's cooking?
Oh, I got one. I'm gonna text you after this.
Okay, let me know, because I'm like, I ain't been outside. I ain't started smelling no grill, little burnt link with little cuts in it. Okay, you know, ooh, I need a burnt. Yes, on the bun. Oh, with some barbecue sauce. All right, so
we hungry. We are hungry.
That's why we need to go ahead and bring this completely to a close.
Thank you so much, y'all, for listening to our episode. For the new listeners, for the old listeners, and we're not talking about age, but maybe we are. But thank you for listening.
Thank you.
We'll be back in your ears in 2 more weeks. Oh, stay black.
Stay proud. Bow Bill.